So I just finished reading Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 of Hungry Marie, and I gotta say, after reading these two chapters, my interest in the series has grown because of what direction the series can take, but also, once again, thanks to the actual, I guess, experience from the mangaka, we can clearly see that he knows how to pace a very good story. On top of that, really throw in some good comedy that can actually keep you entertained while reading the chapters. And I really loved what I saw in these, two chapters, Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. And for the most part, what's going on here is very simplistic. And on top of that, it is very slow-paced, which is actually a good thing, because let me explain. Normally, when you see a new manga series on Weekly Shonen Jump, new mangaka and stuff that, have their first series on Weekly Shonen Jump, they're finally getting to put out their chapters and stuff, they tend to have very fast pacing. There tends to be a lot of plot points, characters, everything just thrown in the first couple chapters just to get something to stick for someone will gain interest in their series, and then they'll continue reading it. That's what a lot of mangaka tend to do. They just throw so much in, just trying to gain the attention of, the readers. And in this case, we don't see that going on with this manga series, Hungry Marie. We see a very slow-paced series that is revealing things, but it's taking its time to reveal certain little things here and there throughout the chapters. And for the most part, with Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, there was a lot of comedy, which is something you would expect from the previous, writer of, Beelzebub. But on top of that, though, we also have some really good stuff going on with the character interactions, especially the main male character and the main female character. So here is what's going on. So, as I said at the end of my first impressions of Hungry Marie, it seems like this series is some form of Genderbender series. And because of that, many might not like the series for that, because I know many have, different opinions on that. Some don't want to actually read or watch series because there's genderbender characters and stuff, and they're constantly swapping, and maybe like, I'm not interested in this. But I have to say, I've always been a fan of stuff like this, because it's very fascinating to see the interactions with the characters and the way the plot can possibly go. Yes, there is some cliches in this type of, setting, but overall, it can be something very entertaining, and because this is from the mangaka of Beelzebub, I expect some very good things from the writing of this series. Now, with the second chapter, we found out that our main male character, he is now in the body of the dead spirit, Marie. And every time that, he is, active or awake, he's in her body. However, when Marie gets hungry, like this little emotion inside of her, he gets exchanged out, like his consciousness fades, he's no longer in control of the body, and Marie gets in control of the body, and she turns into Taiga, which is his normal male body. So it's pretty funny. So the situation here is where Taiga, our main male character, he's in Marie's body, while Marie, she's in Taiga's body, and so every time one of their personalities are active, you have it to where their bodies swap, and so they're, not the right gender, or in the right body when they're active, and the only time that Marie is active is thanks to her hunger. So now we understand the meaning of the title, Hungry Marie, because every time she's active in a chapter, it's because she actually is hungry. She wants to eat something. And I feel like this is going to be something very important in the future, and might dive into more about why Marie is like she is. From what I can assume here, it seems like Marie, she did have a very lonely life. That from what we can gather from, a little bit of characterization we got from Chapter 3, she lived a very lonely life. She eventually died and all that, and she was locked away for a good long time. It seems like she didn't get to really enjoy herself, and we also could assume that she probably didn't get to eat what she wanted. She was probably constantly starved when she was still alive, and she never really got to enjoy the simple things in life. And it might explain why she wants to just eat, and that's the only thing that she's interested in right now, probably because right before she possibly died, she was very hungry, or she never really got to eat anything she wanted, and that's probably what resulted in her death in the first place. And I feel like we're getting some insight to what type of person she is because of this. I mean, when you see that one panel in Chapter 3, when she's sitting there eating a donut and all that, and you just see this very cute smile and face, you can instantly see that it's just the little things in life that sometimes we cannot appreciate. And that's something so small that honestly many might not think much about. You're like, why are you acting so happy with just eating something. It's just like, why? I mean, it's just a donut. But you gotta factor all of this in. This is a person that's been dead for a very long time, so they probably haven't eaten a very good long time. But on top of that, you have to remember that she probably didn't get to eat properly at all when she was still alive. So I feel like the reason why she is like this is because that's probably the only thing that was like her remaining attachment to the world before she finally passed away. And I feel before everything is said and done, I feel like what's going to factor in her constantly resurfacing is probably her, you know, trying to get back other emotions of herself. Because right now it doesn't seem like she has really anything about herself, like besides being hungry. The only thing that really drives her is to eat something, and then she just goes back to sleep, and then Taiga takes back over the body once again. So there's definitely something going on here, and I feel like, you know, eventually Marie's going to wake up more, she's going to be a little bit more conscious of what is going on, and it's going to allow her to probably have more emotions besides just wanting to eat. We'll see where the series goes, which there is a lot of potential here, because right now, the writer of the series has many directions they can go. They could turn this into a rom-com slice-of-life series to where a character just intermingles with, you know, his schoolmates, and then you have this drama and shit here and there, or this, you know, I guess conflict with how, you know, Taiga constantly transforms into a girl, and then, you know, Marie transforms into Taiga's body, and you can have this complicated issue to where, you know, they're just having to fake their lives or fake who they are while they're going throughout school. Or you could turn this into some form of battle series where, you know, Marie has to fight and save herself against people trying to take her back to maybe the spirit world or something. I mean, there's a lot of potential possibilities that, you know, this series can go. And I'm very excited to see where the mangaka Beelzebub wants to take it, because like I said, there is a lot of potential here. There's many paths that we can go with. We can go the traditional slice of life, or we could go down the battle shonen with some crazy shit where, you know, Taiga's trying to protect Marie that's inside of him because he doesn't want her to be sent away because she didn't get to live a proper life when she was still alive. I could see something like this happening. So far, with these 3 chapters of Hungry Marie, we got a little bit of insight to the character, Marie, but also we get to see what type of person Taiga is, too. And it's kind of interesting that he's so accepting of how his body is being used by a spirit. I mean, it's very weird. I mean, if your body was taken over and a spirit was using your body, I probably wouldn't act that normal. I wouldn't. But I mean, I guess you gotta factor this in as well, that there's really nothing he could do right now. I mean, his body was taken over, so if it's already taken over, I guess it's just GG. You can't really do much about it, I guess, so I guess that explains a little bit, but yeah, regardless of that though, there was some comedy in, you know, these 2 chapters, which had me just busting a gut. Like, there's 2 portions of comedy, like 2 segments that really got me, and it was the one with the granny, when the granny had the fucking shades on, and you just see the fucking sword. I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, the fucking sword with the shades, you just see it glowing and shit, about to kill this man. And then after that, when they were talking about the backstory of Marie, and then how eventually it was stated, like, a long time ago, women had to, you know, pee standing up. And he's like, oh, okay, that makes, like, wait, are you serious? And I was like, yo, like, I was actually thinking the exact same thing, like, wait, what the fuck? So, I mean, there was just a lot of things in these chapters, like, some very crude humor, but overall, some funny stuff that I really enjoyed in these 2 chapters that were released. And so far, it's looking to be a very good series. It just depends on where the story goes, if, you know, it probably gains enough attention from the readers in Japan for the series doesn't get, you know, the axe. But right now, I feel like it's in a very solid position. I don't feel like it's in danger at this moment, judging by the way these chapters have been. I feel like the mangaka knows what he is doing. He knows how to write his series. He's learned from his mistakes with Beelzebub, and on top of that, you can just see the experience constantly while you're reading the chapter. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.